Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Scale Models with Mike, and we're kicking off another collection brought to you by Harshett Powerworks. It's the Lancaster Bomber. Yes, we're going to be building the legendary Dam Buster Bomber, issue 1, only $1.99. Now, many years ago, this build was out previously, and it was made out of wood. And so many years down the line, they've decided to bring it into die cast. So very, very lovely to be seeing this in die cast, because as I said, the original one was in wood, and it's a nice feel to it to take over from the Spitfire that they did as well. So let's take a look at what this is. This is a Scale 132 model, and you can, if you want to subscribe to this, you can subscribe at www.harshettpowerworks.com/LancasterBomber. And if we have a look over leaf, we can see here all the lovely specifications here. So we've got interior lights and interior features of the model light up. It's going to be die cast parts. We've got gunfire effects with light and sound create the effect of gunfire from 2 turrets and 6 machine guns. Then we've got landing gear, wheels fold away after stimulated takeoff, and we've got some authenticated details there with the authentic I can't pronounce that, authentic representation of the Lancaster Bomber flown by Guy Gibson. And then obviously you get yourself your display stand here, remotely controlled motors and speakers concealed in the display stand, which is based on one of the target dams. And then issue 2 only $6.99, and then obviously from issue 3 it will go up to £10.99 with parts for the front gun turret and the fuselage. So this is going to be complete in 130 issues. In your magazine here, we've got Build Your Model, History and Legacy, The Bomber in Action, Battle for the Skies, People of the Skies, and the Tactics and Technology. So let's take a look at these. In here, we'll get our magazine off here and get that off the blister pack. They normally call these blister packs, so we'll get that like so, and these are our parts. I like to keep the issue ones, but unfortunately, they only had the one issue in the shop, so yeah, I have to salvage it and take it all apart, unfortunately. So yeah, right, so these are our parts. As you can see, very lovely detailed here, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, isn't that lovely? So let's take a look at the magazine itself, and inside here we have our magazine. So we'll get into the magazine here. Really, really beautiful. So as you can see, this is our magazine here, the Lancaster Bomber. We do actually get some other bits and pieces, and I'll show that afterwards. So inside here we've got our magazine, and obviously first things first, if you want to get this through your newsagents, you can get every week at your newsagents. All you do is you give that little slip to your newsagents, and they will they basically reserve it for you, and obviously you can get every issue. Now some shops do charge a deposit, so obviously that's to make sure that you go back every week. If you don't go back and collect them, they do reserve the right to use your deposit to offset the cost that they've incurred. So always make sure you pick up your copy. If you subscribe online, it looks like you get some awesome free gifts. You get a free issue, you get your free tin plate there. You also get a really groovy pen. Look at that. Oh wow. So that's really cool. You get yourself a gorgeous binder, and that brings back so many memories of Atlas Editions. I used to do a few planes from Atlas Editions, which is a sister company to D'Agostini. And yeah, such fantastic planes there. And obviously you get your 5th delivery with this very lovely 144 scale of the Lancaster Bomber B111 model, or B3 if you like. And obviously you can send that off if you don't if you can't do it online, then you can subscribe to it through the post, and that's free post, so you don't have to pay for that to send that off. Okay, so the fuselage and propeller. So as you can see, this is really nice because they've provided like little feet for the propeller blades to sit on while you work on it. That's really cool. You will also need yourself a bottle of, I like to go for the brush glue. It's the Gorilla Glue, so you will need glue for this build because obviously bits and pieces glue in as well. You get yourself a motor, so we get to test this up, which is really, really cool. All about the Lancaster Bomber there with the B33, powered by American-built Merlin engines. The Lancaster B333 or Mark III was one of the most effective variants of the legendary British bomber. and a bit of history and legacy there for you there. And as you can see, all about Wing Commander Guy Gibson there. Guy Gibson is most famous for leading the Dam Busters raid in May 1943. His courage during the raids of the German dams earned him the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest award for bravery. And then obviously a bit of the timeline down here. And then obviously the development of the Avro 683 Lancaster, the greatest heavy bomber of World War II, was created from the disaster that was the twin-engined Avro Manchester. So very, very cool. Lots of, oh, that's a nice picture. And then obviously coming up in issue number 2, we have detailed parts for the front gun turret, including machine guns with LEDs, plus parts for the fuselage there. I'm so excited I can't get my words out. Okay, so let's take a look at our lovely other poster here. Very beautifully done here, giving me a sort of like Red Baron vibe. Hachette many years ago did the Red Baron. And yeah, we've got a lovely little sort of poster here with all the details, basically just mimicking what we've got on that blister pack there. And the legendary Lancaster bomber there. And you've got your sort of measurements of the model itself and the specifications down here. So really, really good. The materials will be die-cast metal plastic for fine details, and obviously steel screws. Your batteries are not included, so you will have to purchase those as well. And then obviously all about your magazine here and your free gifts. If you're a subscriber and you subscribe to Hachette Partworks, you will get all these lovely free gifts. So really, really good. Okay, so let's get open the parts, I think, and we'll get building, shall we? Because I would like to get started on this. So let's get the parts all sorted out. So we're going to very carefully open this. What I like to do is get my screwdriver, and then I'll look for a part, so probably about here, and I like to push a hole through it, yank it back a bit, and then as you can see it gives me an access point to get all that out. So very, very cool. I've literally had this sitting in my office for about 3 to 4 weeks, and I've literally just only got round to doing this. I wanted to put it on the channel a lot sooner, but I'm a busy person. So right, so let's get our parts out. I'm probably going to keep them in the blister pack here for safekeeping while we tackle each part here that we've got. Okay, so first things first, it wants us to get this little part here, as you can see here. So we've got that little part here, and this is the upper switch box apparently. 01A is the framing, and we need the part that's got 01L. So the upper switch box, I reckon, very nicely done. They've given us a lovely little, sorry, my camera's on the wrong there. They've given us another little piece here. This is lovely, and I think the part they're referring to is probably, it looks like it's that little part there. So I'm going to get that little part there that is absolutely tiny, and yeah, that looks like our part that it wants us to use. And that's going to be, basically, if we've got the framing here, it wants us to put it, it looks like this little switch goes into that one there. So we've got the circle, no, sorry, if it's like that, yeah. So the circle, and then we're going to pop it into that hole there. Now it does say to use a cocktail stick to apply a little super glue. I don't have any cocktail sticks in stock at the moment, so I'm going to have to get some more on Amazon. But what I will do is, this is going to get quite messy, I should imagine. So I'm going to get some gloves here, because whenever I use super glue, I end up getting stuck to it. So we're going to get some gloves here, Surgeon Mike here, and we should be able to get that in quite nicely. Now, as you can see, we've only literally got to get it on that peg, okay? Because it's, I should imagine, if that's like that, it's going to sit something straight like that, I should imagine. So, yeah, I reckon it's going to sit very nicely like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our Gorilla Glue here. And what this allows me to do is, the tiniest amount of glue, I can actually, rather than dollop it on there and get all that excess, what I can do is just brush that on, And then what that allows me to do is not get too much on the part. And as you can see, we've got a bit of a spillage there. So I'm just going to get, this is where it all gets a little bit nerve-wracking. And I'll just dab a bit of tissue just to take some of that excess away. And what's going to happen is we're going to turn that over. I'm just going to dab that again with a little bit of tissue just to get some of that excess off. My plan is not working here. And what's going to happen is that's going to turn over and it's going to go in the little hole that's right up the very top here. So let me just double check that. Yeah. So I can't get this around the right way. It's going like that, and it's going to go in the little hole that's down there. Now we've got to really be quick as well with this section, so we've got to be careful here, but we've got to sort of get that in that hole. Go on, you beauty. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. So just trying to get it a little bit. Just going to hold that there for a couple of minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's not done it right. In that case, we need a little bit more glue. I'm not a lover of gluing things with super glue. I don't enjoy parts that have super glue on there. Luckily, I'm just seeing if it's coming out the back here. That's fine. So I think if we'll leave that just like so, that'd be perfect. Lovely. Okay, so next what we're going to do is get O1I, and this lovely bit has got a bit of silver stuck on it. So what's quite nice about this is I can work on the other part while getting this part done. And this is the silver part, so you see it's got like a silver part section on it. That's going to face round the other way, and that's going to go into the big part here. So again, we're going to get ourselves some glue, and hopefully this time I won't pour too much on. I'll just take a little bit of excess away. So that's probably about as best as I can get that. We'll pop that part into here if we can. Oh, look at that. Lovely. That went in the first time. Just making a observation. Don't want to get any glue down that. Down that part. Okay. Let that set for a bit. Then we want to get O1J, and O1J looks like, see there's a clear bit in here, so I'm not entirely sure. O1J, it's got to be that paste there. So why that's like that, got that part there. O1J is, sorry, not O1J. So many bits here, so we've got to be careful. This is the part we need, and that part there is O1N, and that's the switch box apparently. So what's going to happen is that one, I think, is going to sit into that panel just there. Yeah, that looks like the switch box. Okay, so again, we're going to get ourselves some glue. Don't want to put, although it's a brush on glue, I just don't want too much. It does tend to come out quite quick on that brush. So we'll just see if we can, oh, trouble is with me as well is that I have big hands. So I find parts like this extremely difficult. So gone in or? Yep. Oh. It's not going in. Okay, that's gone in. I'll just get a piece of tissue just to take off any leakage. Now this is obviously going to go behind the framing, so you won't see any of this, but I think I've done a pretty good job there. But yeah, the switch box. Interesting. Looks like a little switch, doesn't it? And then you like, bing. So that's going to go over to one side while we let that set. We're then going to bring in this beautiful part here. This is actually die cast, this section here, as you can see. And what we're going to do, we want it so that we've got that little window freed up there. And I suspect that is what this part's for, because we've only got the one piece here. And that's going to go, I assume, it's obviously got to go through that hole there, isn't it? So I'm just trying to work out if there's a special way of that going in. I reckon it's going to go so... Oh yeah, look, there's little holes here. If you look, I don't know if you can see that, but there's little, tiny little holes just here and here. So this is obviously a push fit. It does say to apply a little bit of glue to the edge. So I'm going to try my best here. I think, actually, hang on, I have got a cocktail stick, but it's an extremely big one. So let me just, as you can see, it's not really ideal, but I said to apply a little bit of glue to the edges around here. So I'm going to try my best here. What I'm going to do is, rather than use the brush, I'm going to plop that in there, and then I reckon, I don't really like getting, oh, this, I've got to have a careful hand here. I'll just put a small amount, they said, on the edges, so just the tiniest amount of glue, and then, oh, don't do that, don't you dare do that. Oh, I'm not good at this. And then we've got to somehow plop that onto there. Now, I'm going to try that part there. Okay, I think that's in. Let's get that lid on before we get any glue spillage anywhere. Okay. I find this bit quite nerve-wracking. So, but I think I've got that in. Let's check the outside, and hopefully, oh, look. Oh, yeah, man. That's beautiful. Oh, wow. Fantastic. I was really, really nervous that I'll get some glue on the outer edge, but that's gone through lovely. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so then what we've got to do is there's another bit that we have to glue, and this is the 01H is the port nose fuselage, I think it's called. And this is this little bit here, and what's going to happen is that's going to feed, we turn that round, let's have a look here, so it looks like it's going to feed onto that section there. So with obviously that part sticking this way, you want that, you want this little part here sticking outwards, and that looks like it's going to suction onto that. So again, on this part, we're going to have to get some glue. It does say to glue place in right, so yeah, I reckon that's going to go there and the stick facing forward. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I think I'm I'm going to get that right out of the way so I've got clearance. I don't want glue spilling on that. So, trouble is, it gets so caked up on that brush, as you can see, there's so much on the glue. But you got to be careful not to glue it round the rim, or the lid will get stuck. So I'll try my best on this part, but just kind of very carefully, the tiniest amount. And if there's a little bit too much glue, I'm just going to dab that with a bit of paper, because obviously you don't want that glue stuck on the outside. So this is quite a nerve-wracking procedure, and we'll hold that on for a couple of minutes. Now, Gorilla Glue does do wood, metal, plastic. There's a magpie outside, looks like he's trying to get to the fudgy ball. So we're going to hold that on. Going to hold that a bit more. That is really gripping quite nicely. So I'm just going to hold that a little bit more, a couple of more minutes there. And once we've got this part done, we can relax knowing that we've got this part done perfectly. And look at that. I think is that like a little stand for it? It's gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Oh, I'm happy with that. Wow. So yeah, pretty good. Okay, so we'll leave that over to one side. We're going to tighten this glue up now, because that's all that we need to do on the gluing side of things. And then what's going to happen is I'll take my gloves off, because we won't be needing them anymore in this stage. And then that's all ready to do. And this is where the fun part comes out. And I'm just going to get a piece of kitchen roll just to get rid of anything that we've got stuck. So we don't want any glue on the mat. Okay, lovely. Okay, so this is where the fun part comes in now, because what we've got here is we have 3 little pegs. They're basically like little stands for the plane. And what's going to happen is we're going to get our 3 little peg parts here. Okay. And then we've obviously got the tips of the plane sections into there. But obviously, first of all, we need to get the main body of it. And 01B is the cog of the centre, as you can see. And what's going to happen is this cog needs to fit. You see there's like a little ridge, a rim, like a ridge thing there. That's where that little white line here is going to go. So it'll fit into there, you see. And what's going to happen is that's going to go that way. I don't think it really matters what way round the propellers go, as long as obviously they go on the thing. Okay, and then we're going to get another little ridge there, and that's going to go into that one. Fantastic. And we get the other little bit here. And we'll go in that one there. Lovely. Beautiful. Okay, so once we've done that, obviously they do say there's like a little peg thing that should be facing the top. So if we take this out, you can see there's like a little raised up part in there. So they are saying that, I think it says that they need to face up the top. So they are obviously directional here. Just having a look, yeah. And then obviously I'll just flip that one round. So that's on the top, beautiful. Now I don't know if the Spitfire had these little support stands. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember that far back, but we're going to pop the top of that on. We are provided with ourselves a AP screw. We're going to screw that together now. Now, remember we've got to do 4 of these. So that's going to be quite cool. And then we're going to carefully screw that in the centre here. And there we go, guys. Lovely. So then theoretically what will happen is if we lift it up manually, we can sort of like rotate them very carefully. I don't think they're designed to Yeah, so as you can see it moves it, and then it sort of moves that one. So they all sort of like move, you see. So that's that. So we'll put that there for 1 minute. Okay, next what we've got to do, obviously we've done the mechanism. Now this is a push fit connection, so obviously if you put your propellers around the wrong way, you could have a bit of a terrible time trying to get it off, because obviously once it's pushed in, it's not designed to come back out again. So yeah, so that's into there. Isn't that so cool? The silver is beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to get the cone of the plane. This is this section here, and as you can see, I'm going to feed that up. That's going to go, you've got the 3 holes here, and that's going to go, as you can see, over the top here. And then we're going to sandwich that with the 3 screw holes here, as you can see. We're going to get ourselves some AM screws. And we're getting to the electric part soon. Electrics are my favourite. And we'll get that all lovely tickety-boo in there and screwed into there like so. That's 1. And then 2. That's that one. I'll just get the next screw in. Okay, so that's that done. Right, now this is the fun part, because now we'll take out our little stands for the minute. Now what we get to do is power this baby up. So as you can see, we've got our little mechanical part here. Now this is the motor, so we're going to put this into this section here. As you can see, that's going to feed onto there very carefully. And then what will happen is we're going to, it doesn't actually say to you know, do this yet, but you can actually power it up if you want. You can plug the connector in. It does say that, sorry, it says it just about there. But what I meant was is that if you want to, you don't have to do this now if you want to play, but my advice to you would be always check your electrics, because you don't want to get all fitted up and then something's not working and you've got to strip it all the way back, you know. So we're going to put this into J1, and you can see on here we've got J1, J2 and J3. So that's going to go into here, but remember we want to get the batteries in first. So I'm just going to grab the TV remote. I'm going to have to pinch them from there and take them out of here for the minute. And get this powered up. Now normally when I power things up, something doesn't work all the time, so yeah, let's see where we want to put that in. Put that in there. Now I've got to be careful, because obviously if that's going to start spinning, somehow get that into here a minute. And there we go. Oh, baby. Yeah, man. So my hands are getting in the way there. Look at that. Oh, wow. So, oh, it's quite breezy. Oh, I like that. It's getting faster. It starts off slow and then it really sort of speeds up. That's going quite a pace now. I don't know what the speed is on that at the moment, but it's going proper quick. So that is a good sign. We know that everything's working. Now, sometimes on these switchboards, they will have a button, but in this case, they don't have that. So the only way to get that out is to very carefully sort of... I normally go from the sides, but because I've got to try and hold the propeller... There we go. So don't pull it from here, because you're going to pull the wires out the terminal and you don't want to do that. So just I would grab it from like the side and sort of maneuver it up, because obviously You don't want the wing bashing on the mat while you're trying to take it out. But that's beautiful. Okay, so it's up to you, obviously, if you want to leave your motor in. That will just come out like so. I'm going to probably leave mine wrapped up because I think it'll look, you know, safer like that. But let's try this. Look, I'm using that screwdriver and they've provided this one, look. These things, when you do as many builds as I do, as you can see, they all start to pile up. So I have quite a big collection of these things. But let's just take a look at what we've done so far. So we've done the first one, which there's going to be 4 of them. We've done this beautiful bit of the fuselage, and then we've got this little part here. So it's really looking quite lovely, isn't it? And I suspect that will get hidden somewhere. Obviously, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm not a plane expert, but that won't be on show. It's, you know, it's going to be covered in this lovely die cast. But that's a few little bits. Really happy with that. Better pop the batteries back in the remote because I'll try and turn the TV on later and be like, well, where's the batteries gone? So yeah, I'm really happy for that. That's gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really happy with that. So we'll just put them over to the side for the minute for some, you know, keep it careful. And that brings this issue to a finish. So as you can see, we have got to the last bit, which was obviously testing that all up. Issue 2 looks really fiddly. As you can see, we've got all sorts going on here. We've got detailed parts for the front gun turret, including machine guns with LEDs, plus parts for the fuselage. So very, very happy with that. And as I said, if you want to subscribe to it, head over to harsherpartworks.com/Lancaster Bomber. They normally start you from the current issue out, which I believe is somewhere around about 8 or 9 at the time of recording this video. But you can always buy the issues off the online shop. Or you can do it through the newsagents. As I said, there is a slip here. You can get it through. The benefit of getting it through the newsagents is that you get it every week. If you do it on subscription, you've got to wait a whole month before you get it. So I would recommend going through the newsagents, and then you can get it every week. The great thing about newsagents is they will reserve your copy. So you don't have to do it like you don't have to do a file. Because all that slip does is tell the newsagent to order it in each time. But you could just like go into your newsagents and just hope it's on the shelf. If it's not on the shelf, then you could be in a bit of a pickle. So I would always recommend, if you want to do it through the newsagents, do fill in that form and they'll reserve it each week. As I say, some shops do charge a deposit, and that's just purely because they don't want people to muck them about. You know, they don't want to order it in and then people let them down and then they're lumbered with it. Because once they get that issue in, they can't recover their money. That's the problem. So the shop's basically lumbered with it. So yeah, but you do get your deposit back at the end. But anyway, enough blabbering on. That's the Lancaster Bomber. We'll be bringing you issue 2 very soon to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and if you haven't, always tap that notification bell, and that'll give you a notification of the video. And always subscribe to the channel if you haven't done this already, which is what I was supposed to say first, but I got it back to front. But anyway, that's the Lancaster Bomber. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, have a lovely day ahead, and we'll see you for more Lancaster Bomber coming soon. Bye.